In nearly every home in Iran, you will find two books resting side by side. One is the Quran, the other is the Divan, a collection of poetry written by a 14th century master of the lyric ghazal named Hafez. Hafez was a Sufi who preached that true reality lies beyond the physical. This creates an immediate problem for any architect. How do you build a heavy stone monument for a mystic whose life was dedicated to transcending the material world? When André Godard was commissioned to redesign the site in 1935, he looked to the principles of Sufi mysticism for his blueprint. He decided to organize the complex as a sequence of spaces that correspond to the stages of a spiritual journey. Understanding the poet requires more than reading his lines. It requires the visitor to physically walk a path designed to mirror the movement of a soul toward enlightenment. That path begins at the southern edge of the complex, in the Musalla Gardens. The layout follows the ancient Chahar Bagh style, organizing the land into 4 distinct quadrants. This is an environment of intense sensory detail. Tall cypress trees provide a biotic shade against the Shiraz heat, and in the spring, the air is thick with the scent of bitter orange blossoms. Within the site's architectural logic, this garden represents the mundane world. Its beauty is designed to engage the physical senses of the traveler. This lush landscape serves as a worldly anchor. It is the starting point of the journey, providing a final moment of physical comfort before the ascent begins. Separating the garden from the tomb is a 56-meter-long hall, a veranda supported by 20 massive stone columns. The hall is positioned to hide the poet's grave from the street. To see exactly what lies beyond, you must climb a series of steps and move through the colonnade. Passing through these pillars marks the transition from the noise of the city to the stillness of the sanctuary. It is a physical act of purification, leaving the material world behind. This forced elevation mimics the internal, spiritual climb required to reach the cosmic consciousness described in Hafez's poetry. Beyond the hall, the northern courtyard opens up, the symbolic celestial realm, centered on a pavilion that shelters the grave of the poet. Godard supported the dome with exactly 8 stone columns. In Islamic and Sufi tradition, this number refers to the 8 gates of paradise, while also honoring the 8th century AH, the era in which Hafez lived. The copper dome itself is shaped like a tark, or a segmented dervish's hat. It is a direct architectural reference to the poet's Sufi leanings and the ascetic detachment from worldly desires. Looking up from the grave reveals an intricate geometric transition called karbandi. These interlocking lines move from an octagonal base to a circular apex, all covered in vibrant 7-colored mosaic tiles. This kaleidoscopic ceiling serves as a physical metaphor for the celestial skies and the spiritual ecstasy found within the poet's ghazals. Godard's design successfully synthesized ancient Zand-era techniques with modern nationalist sentiment, creating a navigable map of enlightenment. At the center of the pavilion rests the 1773 marble tombstone from the Zand period, raised 1 meter high and inscribed with Hafez's own calligraphy. This courtyard is a space for active, living communion. It is common to see visitors of all ages sitting quietly by the tomb, reflecting on their lives through the mirror of these verses. Many come to perform the ritual of Fal-e Hafez. They bring their diwan to the site to ask a silent question or seek guidance for their future. They close their eyes, pose their question to the poet, and open to a random page. The first poem their eyes land on is interpreted as a direct oracle's response. This ritual transforms a 14th century poet into an active mentor for modern life, with the architecture providing the quiet vessel for that connection. At twilight, the atmosphere in the Hafezieh becomes deeply personal. The air hums with the sound of visitors reciting their favorite verses aloud. The site facilitates a physical connection between the visitor and the mystic. Hands trace the cold marble engravings as lips whisper poems of love and loss, bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual. The Hafezieh is a timeless architectural portal. It is a place where a mystic soul speaks through the echoes of his creation, weaving his magic into the tapestry of the human experience.